Hello everyone, my name is Chris Eddington. I'm here today to give you an informative speech on the United States Air Force. So before we start, I'd like to tell a little bit about myself. I'm a Staff Sergeant in the United States Air Force, which is an E5. My current position is a firefighter at Kali Air Force Station, Alaska. But I'm originally stationed at Colorado Springs or at Peterson Air Force Base. So in this informative speech, some of the things I'm going to be talking about are what it takes to become an airman in the United States Air Force, what you do at basic military training, some of the things you do after basic military training like technical school, which is your job, as well as some day-to-day operations you go through as being a part of the United States Air Force. The United States Air Force has a mission to fly, fight, and win. We train airmen, or the United States Air Force trains regular civilians to become an airman in the world's greatest air force. The journey starts at BMT, and this is where we learn to become an airman in the United States Air Force. Before you get to go to BMT, you take an ASVAB score, or ASVAB test, which is Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. This gives you a list of where you're qualified and what jobs you're qualified for in the Air Force. And once you've done that, you get to select a job, and then you'll enter what is called the DEP, or the Delayed Entry Program. This allows you to get a certain amount of time to wait for that job, as well as get your things situated and ready to go at the home front. So after you've been accepted and you go through the DEP and you're ready to go, you arrive at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. This is where you begin your journey at basic military training. That's 8.5 weeks long. Some of the things and some of the skills you'll learn are the basic war skills, combat life-saving skills, where you'll learn life-saving interventions like putting on a tourniquet and how to apply it properly, as well as just different other medical areas. You learn how to march here, as well as the common customs and courtesies of being in the military, like saluting an officer and how to wear the uniform properly, and just different aspects of the military image. Upon graduation of basic military training, so after 8.5 weeks, and actually sorry before that, so some of the things you do on a day-to-day basis. So you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, or 4:45 roughly, and you'll go to PT, which is physical training, physical fitness, what you'll do. And that's what you do for 8.5 weeks every day. And once you do that, you go to breakfast, and then that's where you learn all those skills, like the life-saving intervention skills and becoming an airman and marching in customs. So after that, after 8.5 weeks of grueling pain, you graduate, and then you are off on your journey to your tech school, your technical school. And then this is where you learn how to do your job. For me, I went not too far. I stayed in Texas, and I went to San Angelo, Texas, and that's where I learned to become a firefighter. I spent 3.5 months there, and I learned different techniques on how to fight fire, how the different medicals, from delivering a baby to just being a day-to-day firefighter. But for other jobs, it's different lengths of courses, and not everyone goes through the same school or same training. After you graduate your school, well, before you graduate, actually, you also have the ability to fail, and if you fail out, then that means you get the opportunity to retrain. If you fail again there, then the Air Force considers it a failure to adapt, and then you're back to being a civilian. After graduation, you'll receive orders, and I received orders to Andersen Air Force Base, which was in Guam, and so, which was nice. But before I went to Guam, I was able to go home and see my family, and that's kind of how the way the Air Force rewards you, is allowing you to go home, see your family, and saying, good job, way to graduate your tech school and BMT, but hey, go on to the real world, and you're back, now you're into the real Air Force. So some of the things you do in the real Air Force is the same as you guys would do on the the outside, we call it, which is the day-to-day operations. You're working 9 to 5, you get a 1-hour lunch, and if you're helping people or you're a personnel person, you help people with different aspects just like a human resources person would. And for me as a firefighter, we go on emergencies just like firefighters do, but the only difference is we just do it on a military installation. And along with the military installation, we get a few things. We still have a grocery store on there. We have a thing called a BX, or a base exchange, which is kind of like a mall in a way. It's just a small mall and just tax-free stuff, and it's just the same way. It's just easier for us to stay on base at times than it is to go off base, and we just have that ability. So in conclusion, I talked about some of the things I do and what we do in the Air Force, my day-to-day operations, and how to get into the United States Air Force. The United States Air Force has a mission to fly, fight, and win. We train civilians how to be an airman in the United States, or the world's greatest Air Force. But the Air Force also has core values, which are integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. These are not just minimum standards, but they help us get the mission done. It's something we can live by, and not only in the military, but as a Christian, they can help you. So if we have the integrity, which is great, it's what the Lord looks for. Service before self is just like putting others before yourself and being there to help out others in the time of need or even when they don't need it. Just be there for one another, and excellence in all we do. Just do your best in everything you can do, and the Lord will know and understand. Thank you, and have a great day.